and Squiggly's adventure today?
I'm glad you asked, little lighting chick. Today's adventure is the mud run.
Yeah!
Now, boys and girls, a mud run is exactly what it says. You run through the mud, but you got to do certain things first while you're running. So, Mr. Farmer Brown, you know, he built the skating rink, and it's not open yet. It's going to open, I think, next week, he's told me. But in the meantime, since we had a lot of rain and everything, he decided to make a mud run in one of his fields that he hadn't planted any corn in yet. And he put an announcement out on the church bulletin board and on Facebook and on a big sign, cardboard sign at the post office. So everybody all around knew that Mr. Farmer Brown was going to have a mud run. Woohoo! For children only. I know. And to make it even more special, this mud run was going to be dedicated to Father Drew. Father Drew lived in town, and everybody knew Father Drew because he was the kindest person, and he always had something nice to say to everybody. And if you needed a real quick prayer, he would pray with you. Father Drew was the sweetest man there ever was. And it was Father Drew's birthday. So Farmer Brown decided to have a mud run in honor of Father Drew's birthday. Well, the three little piggies wanted to know what a mud run was. And Farmer Brown says, well, all you boys and girls better come and be prepared. And it's real easy. And I'll explain the rules when we get there. Oh boy, it's kind of a secret. So, the big day came, and they looked around, and the great big field, and every once in a while they saw a dark spot, and they looked at it. Ooh, that must be the mud. And Patty Pig says, I don't want to get my new jeans wet and dirty.
New jeans? Why did she even wear jeans?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to wear. I would think that you would wear jeans, and old ones, though. You know, you could wear a bathing suit, I suppose. You know, I don't. You know, Farmer Brown didn't say that it had to have certain rules about what you wear, okay? So anyway, they got there, and they looked around, and they go, whoa, that's going to be fun. So Farmer Brown read all the rules to him. It's pretty easy. And he says, now, everybody line up in a row, and we're going to count. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to say go. Well, Allie the alligator and Little Bad Wolf and Piggly Wiggly and Squiggly and Ollie the otter and Frankie Fox and Patty Pig and Sally Skunk. Now, thank goodness Sadie Skunk didn't go, because you know, she's a little itty-bitty wee thing, and she's 2 years old. She'd get lost and stomped in the mud, and you'd never find her again.
She'd probably drown in the mud.
I know, she would. So, everybody lined up, and Farmer Brown says, 3, 2, 1, go! He had a big air horn. Oh my goodness gracious. It about scared Patty Pig. She didn't know what to do. She just kind of stood there a little bit, and then she, I guess I need to run. So she ran. Well, the first thing they did, they had to run through a big mud puddle. And they got stuck in the mud. Oh my gracious sakes. Patty Pig says, I don't think I can do this. And Sally Skunk said, I wonder if I held on to you, if I got on your back, would that count or not? Can I ride on your back sometimes? And Ollie the Otter says, no, you can't do that.
But we can help you.
I read in a book you can't do that.
But we can help you.
But I can help you. So I can hold your hand and bring you through. Okay. Sally Skunk says, oh, thank goodness. Well, the boys and girls were having such a good time. They were giggling and they were just having a great time. They were getting dirty already. The first thing they did, and they got flap, flap, flap full of mud. Well, pretty soon they saw something in the distance, and they saw these great big, oh my gracious sakes, those are great big tires. Oh, wow, that must have came off of Farmer Brown's tractors. Whew, look at them. Let me see now. We have to crawl through them and over them and under them. Wow. And Patty Pig says, oh dear, I've gained a few pounds. I hope I can fit.
Oh.
Well, Patty Pig went through one, boop, she fit. And she went under one, and she fit. And she went over one, she was okay. And then she went through another one. She got stuck.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Little Bad Wolf, he goes through and under and over and under and over. And he goes in front of Patty, and he says, here, Patty Pig, I pull you out. And so he pulled Patty Pig out. Phew! And she went out. So they went on some more. And they were having such a good time. And Little Bad Wolf says, this is the most fun I've had in such a long, long, long time. And and so they got to they got to, oh my gracious, they came across the little bit of a river that flew through Mr. Farmer Brown's property, and they had to cross the river, and it was muddy and cold. Oh, they about froze their little behinds off. Well, what do they come to next, you ask? They came to a fence.
Oh.
Now, this is pretty easy, because all they did is they climb up the fence, and they climb down the fence into another mud puddle.
Oh,
Another mud puddle. Well, they went on down the path that was marked off with ropes, and they went on down. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. This was a hard one. And Sally Skunk says, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. Can we do it together? I think we can, can't we? Well, since Ollie the Otter had read the rules before his mama looked them up, and he read the rules, he said, yes, girls, you can carry that together. They had to carry tree stumps 20 yards. That was a whole big, oh my gracious, that was 60 foot. Something like that. GrandMommy's not too good at math. Well, Little Bad Wolf, he carried one, and he even went back for a second one. And the three little pigs, they carried theirs. They went back for a second one. And Ollie the Otter and Allie the Alligator, they all carried one, and they went back for a second one. And sometimes they tried to go back for a third one, but there was other boys and girls, so they couldn't go back with too many more because the other boys and girls had to carry theirs. So far, because of the boys and girls always going out in the woods and playing all day long, they were ahead of everybody else that joined up in this mud race, because they were used to climbing things, and they were used to carrying things heavy, and so they were ahead. They were so far ahead of all the rest of the boys and girls. Mr. Farmer Brown goes, wow, those kids are really doing good. Well, next they came to the monkey bars. Oh my gracious sakes, monkey bars are so hard sometimes. And poor little Sally Skunk, she had a hard time because she was little. She's not as little as Sadie Skunk, because you know Sadie Skunk is this wee little teeny tiny thing, and she's only 2 years old. But her and Patty Pig, they made it across the monkey bars, and then they had to swing on a rope. They had to climb it first, climb the rope, and they had to swing back and forth so they could get some momentum, and they swang and they swang, and woof! When they jumped off, what do you think they jumped into? A mud puddle. Right, right. Well, then comes the army crawl. An army crawl, you go like this on your tummy, and you go, and you go, and you go. Oh, yeah. So now you're going to be muddy, 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 all the way down. So if there was any clean place on anybody, it wasn't clean any longer. Yeah. Well, they almost were finished. They could see Mr. Farmer Brown, and they could see everybody else, and they could see the judges. They said, oh boy, we're first. There's nobody behind us. Well, there's a couple of kids behind us, but I think we're going to beat them. And so they had to run up a hill. Now, this was kind of hard. Farmer Brown made this hill. It was kind of hard because they were tired by now. Mm-hmm. And they had to run up the hill and slip and slide in the mud again. And then they had to slide down, and they had to splash into a cold lake. Water. Farmer Brown had made it where they had to go. They ended up in the river that they had crossed before. They ended up in the river, and it was freezing cold. Rivers, for some type reason, are always colder than lakes are. Don't know why, but they are. Well, then they had to swim across that to the finish line, and of course, what was at the finish line, you asked, boys and girls? Another mud puddle.
Are you kidding?
No, they're not kidding. Well, here comes Little Bad Wolf. He was first because he's got big long legs and big feet. So he was first. Yay. Winner. And Allie the alligator. Alligators are real fast on land. And when Allie the alligator wanted to be fast and run fast, boy, his little feet just a little bit like this. And then here comes the three little pigs. And here comes Patty Pig. Here comes Sally Skunk. Well, they broke the ribbon. They ran through it so hard and so fast. And everybody was clapping. Oh, yay, 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 yay. And Mr. Farmer Brown comes down and he said, congratulations. And he shook everybody's hand. He said, you boys and girls, you really did good. Let's move out of the way now because some more boys and girls are coming through the finish line. So let's move out of the way. We'll move over here. He says, Mrs. Farmer Brown, honey, can you come down here, please? And Mrs. Farmer Brown came down, and what was draped on her arm but all the ribbons for all the boys and girls. Well, this was Little Bad Wolf's first ribbon he ever got in his life. And he got first place to boot. He just didn't know how to do it. He just was so excited. So Mrs. Farmer Brown gave everybody out their medals, and she congratulated them, and they were beautiful. They were all different because first place got one kind, and second place got another kind, and third place, and then everybody else got one, and it was really special. But Father Drew waved to the boys and girls from his chair, and they all waved back, and Mr. Farmer Brown says, "Isn't this a great birthday present for Father Drew?" And with that, the boys and girls said, "Yes, it is." And boys and girls, we will see you Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope it's a good